Oh, one thing I just forgot to mention is kindly check the timestamps because you may want to check specific vices and that would help you get the answers that you're looking for. Having said that, watch. Oh, one thing I just forgot to mention is kindly check the timestamps because you may want to check specific vices and that would help you get the answers that you're looking for. Having said that, watch. Alright, in this video I'm going to speak to you my thoughts and in some cases my experience with regards to smoking, drinking alcohol, drugs, porn, sex, women, gaming, social media, friends, nightlife, shopping, gambling, and bodybuilding. Okay. The reason for speaking on these topics is because the majority of people who do watch my videos are men. And out of that, the majority are younger than me. I'm 47, so it's around, you could say, majority in the range of 20 to 30. So I wanted to make this video as something that would really help them and guide them so as to not make these mistakes. And even if you are making these mistakes, to overcome this as soon as possible. Remember, it's never too late unless it becomes too late. So, and everything that I'm sharing here has a price to pay. Okay, I'll give you my thoughts on each and every vice, and I'll tell you the drawbacks to it. So feel free to give me your comments and thoughts below. You're free to disagree with me. Okay, you're free to disagree with me, and if you have overcome any of these vices, please do share it with people. And if I get some extra points, I may just say it. Well, let's start. Okay, and one final thing. If you see me drinking water repeatedly, it's because I just had my hospital ICU near-death experience, whatever drama that nonsense was. And it has been 5 days since I've not eaten any food. I choose not to eat food, only drink water. So I might sound a little weak, I might look weak. So just watch this video at 1.5x speed. Maybe it'll help you. And let me know, do you think my voice is coming out good? Because I got this new microphone, and is my energy is okay? Whatever. Okay, let's start. The first one which I want to speak to you about is smoking, especially tobacco, and you could even say the stuff that they put, like Indians put, like they chew beetle, or they put tobacco in between their lips or something and it becomes red. Now, fortunately for me, I've never ever touched cigarettes. The only time I did was, I think, in 11th or 12th standard, when I went to meet a friend of my school, and all these guys were smokers. So to look cool, I just went to a shop and bought a cigarette and put it in my mouth. And I was like, so funny when I think about it. And all of them were looking at me. I'm trying to, they're like, man, you're not smoking. I said, yeah, I'm smoking. They said, inhale the bloody thing. I said, you have to inhale? So when I tried to inhale, oh goodness, it felt like, I don't know what, the whole thing, when I was coughing, and I was like, what the hell is it? And they all burst out laughing. So I realized that smoking was not meant for me. And also I was very lucky that at a very young age, I saw this very small documentary, 2-3 minutes long, where they showed all these young boys and girls were dancing. This is like a 60s video. So long hair, bell bottoms, and everyone's dancing on the beach. And this guy who was dancing with this girl was smoking. And this other guy came and just kind of whacked him on the bum or something, kicked him just playfully. And then he started to chase him. So when he was chasing him, the guy who was smoking very soon got tired and and the other guy was laughing at him. And then they show a cartoony kind of heart. They say, it's puffing like that. So, and the narrator said, if you smoke, you can never have a healthy heart, you can never run, you can never do exercise. And for me, those were the days of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You had Jean-Claude Van Damme. You had Sylvester Stallone. So I was like, I want to be like them. I don't want to be like this smoker guy. So, one sec. So, for me, I always had the fear and thing about smoking, and also given the fact that I knew once you get into it, you can't get out. It was taught to me from a very young age. So I didn't see any images of cancer or cancerous growth and all that. But then that was enough for me to say, I prefer to be healthy. Where the tobacco thing, putting in between your lips and all that, I'll just give one personal example. A relative aunt of mine, who very healthy, everything, she ended up getting cancer for the mouth. She was the only one in the family who got cancer for the mouth because she did it from a young age. They had to cut off her teeth, her gums, her mouth, part of her tongue, and fortunately her lips were saved. There was another person like her who even had her mouth completely, lips, gums, part of her tongue, and she can never show her face because it looks like a horror movie. So if that is not enough to scare you, well, guess. So smoking and drinking, in my this thing opinion, is 100% no. It doesn't give you any benefit. People say, "Oh, I have to socialize. Oh, I have to stand with their friends." What if all of them were eating cow dung or they were eating human fecal matter? Would you also eat that just to socialize with them? Don't be stupid. Keep your personality. You don't need to smoke. Okay, there's no excuse for it. The second one is drinking alcohol. Now, drinking alcohol is without a doubt the greatest social pastime, and almost everyone does it. Okay. In fact, if you go to certain people or certain cultures or communities and say, I don't drink, they will look at you as like, what the hell is wrong with you? Try telling, Irish or British or, even in Thailand, when I wanted to get married to my wife, I had made it very clear there's not going to be any alcohol in the wedding that we had, a very simple wedding. So not only she, but the parents, everyone was shocked, okay? Because it's customary. It was not like they're getting drunk. But then on request, she said just few people will just drink a little bit. So I said, fine. And then they offered me a little bit. So out of courtesy for the elders, they said, just drink so you show unity. I drank, but I didn't like it at all. The only time I got high drinking was very funny. Goan Portuguese wine, I think Goan wine, red wine, which they have with food. Very, very tiny amount of, alcohol is in that. So I drank that when I was, I think, 11 or 12 or 13, something, on an empty stomach. And the whole room started to go round, round, round. My parents actually made me drink that. And then they said, just eat a little rice, it'll be okay. So then that was my experience of getting like dizzy. And I tasted beer just to taste because they were saying, hey, try. The, family relatives, when they had to get together, it tasted like yuck. And I remember just to show off and look cool, I drank Bacardi Breezer. It tasted sweet. It tasted like juice. So I was like trying to look cool. There were a couple of girls during my DJing days, but I didn't find anything great in that. So why do I say no for drinking is because, see, drinking, everyone says, this is without a doubt, all of them say, man, I'm in control. I just do it to socialize. I drink one peg a day. My thing is, okay, if it is a cold country and you're drinking rum or, I don't know, brandy. By the way, once when it was very cold, my friend, who was the guy when I used to DJ, very close, he was my best friend. He took me to Ramada and we were celebrating just like a Christmas. We were single that time, so we said, why don't we just have something? So he ordered rum or brandy, I'm not too sure. It's like a goblet, a little bit is a. He said, just try. He used to drink a lot. So I was like, he put the glass, he said, smell it first. It smelled like, alcohol. And then he said, drink little. And I drank and it felt like burning. And it was, because it was cold outside, I felt a little warm. I said, wow, I feel like tasting a little bit more. So then he said, no, stop. I just wanted you to have a taste. So my stance on this is, why do you want to gamble with a substance that can prove to be, life altering, that can prove to be addictive for the rest of your life. And especially if you're emotional and you're sad and you use alcoholic beverages as a crutch. That same best friend who I told you about? He spent almost 50 to 60% of his salary on alcohol. He was working for Emirates Airlines. He was earning a very big amount, and still he used to spend. He used to go source out the cheapest supplier. And I'll tell you, I used to be with him. I've literally seen him, because after his breakup, he puked, and I had to clean him. Then, when driving the car, he nearly hit a divider, and we nearly overturned. He went and scratched his girlfriend's car, and I didn't want him to get caught. So I said, "You want? I'll scratch it," and it became a police case. So I saw him almost destroy his life, and eventually he still drinks. Him, his wife, his everyone, not that same person. But I've seen any individual who drinks, their body, their face, especially their face sags and deep eyes, and they look like groggy and yuck. That is something I really didn't want. And I've seen people do things they would never do after they get drunk, whether it's a guy, whether it's a girl. In fact, when I was in my Playboy days, I used to always hope that a girl would drink. But then obviously, I wouldn't want her to get pissed drunk and then have sex. But when a girl would drink at least one or two and get a little high, I know that she would warm up to me easy. So I don't see any benefit in this. And the worst part is when alcohol becomes your master. Literally, I can see in Thailand here, so many foreigners, so many people, they come here, no control. In fact, some of the rape cases that have taken place, these girls got so drunk, they didn't even know that they were naked, and they were dancing in the full moon parties, and they got 4 or 5 guys had sex with them. They didn't know. When they woke up in the morning, they were like they were naked or half naked, and they were sore. And when they went and checked with the doctor, they were like, "Hey, sheesh." And in some cases, I know one where the guy drank so much, he didn't know what he did. And later on, he found out he had contracted AIDS. So, go figure. I've never seen anything benefit out of this. So, if you ask me, that is why Alcoholic Anonymous is there, because smoking and drinking are without a doubt the most addictive substances. So, for me, it's 100% no. Drugs. I'm not, it's common sense. We don't have to ask anyone, is hard drugs good? I'm talking about weed. Now, it's a mixed bag, because when you listen to podcasts like Joe Rogan, he says you have to try ayahuasca, gets you high, opens up your third eye, your spirit. It is very tempting for people to try that. But I'm not one of those who wants to experiment with that, because there are some people who have tried it and it's a one-time experience and they're happy they did it. But then you can also use the same logic for one time. Let me have sex with an animal. You can use the same logic. Let me chop off something, or let me, do something really bizarre, just as a one-time experience. So I don't buy into that one-time experience. What if that one-time experience destroys your life? Okay. So, and my relative, I'll not tell you who specifically, very, very young, very nice young man. I really loved him a lot. And he was like a brother. Once he migrated abroad and weed was legal, they could use. He became a user of that. He used to always tell me, no, it's in moderation. And today he's become a bum. Seriously, a bum. Doesn't want to work, always on weed. And the government subsidizes it. He actually takes advantage and says he's using for medical exemption. He was fine without it for 30 years of his life. And now he is using it for medical exemption. He has ADHD like me, but I don't buy into it. It's total nonsense here. Even for that matter, any drugs that you take, medicines or supplements, if you're not careful, it can be addictive. And once it becomes addictive, it'll destroy your life. Okay, so that was drugs. The next one comes down to porn. Now, porn, once again, is a mixed bag. On one side, people say that, women are being forced into it. On the other side, you say it's a sex industry. Then you get people who say if you watch too much of porn, you disrespect women, especially if you're a youngster and you watch porn and then you see girls as a sexual object. And then there are people who actually watch porn. Like I know one of my clients, his father, every day in the night for 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Seriously, 3 to 4 hours every single day he'll watch porn. His father is above 60. Um, so what do I think about this? Porn, if and when porn has to be introduced into your life, I believe it should be done at a late stage, not at an early young age. Because if it is done at a young age, then your brain is not mature enough or developed enough to know this is not reality. It's all fake. People, general people, like up to 90%, they do not like this nonsense that is there. Say 80%. The 20% that do enjoy this, then it goes to levels of how extreme it is. They are addicted to it. And then they obviously like to show videos of it. But this is, if you're using it just to satisfy yourself, like you're desperate or you're frustrated and you want to relax or you want to do it before sleeping, like some people have a little bit of alcohol before sleeping, fine, I can understand that. But if you start watching it from a young age, then you'll have a totally twisted reality of what a woman is, what relationship is, what's actual love making is. Many boys, even when I was young, we want to try all these different positions that we see. We think it's exciting because we see in the movie, oh, she wants it, put it in this, put it in my mouth, and I want to put my tongue there and this and that. Trust me, sex can be very disgusting, very, very disgusting, especially after you have climaxed. You don't want to think about all these stuff. Oh, I want to put this in my mouth and this and that. See, body fluid here. Come on. There's nothing yummy and So always keep in mind what you see in porn is fake. It's just meant to tickle your fantasy. I also do watch porn. I also masturbate, which, but what I say is do it in moderation. Don't do it for 2-3 hours and just be careful. Okay, so I would say this is just my theory. Maybe some people would say don't watch at all after the age of 30. Okay, or because I can say ideal age is after the age of 40, but I know that nobody can be practical about this. But don't do it. Don't overdo it. Do it in moderation. And I especially recommend do it before meeting a girl if you are the type who can't control. So when you're with your girl, you can control. It really helps. It calms down the frustration. I forgot to mention the next one, that was, since you're talking porn, it also comes down to masturbation. Okay. And not only masturbation, but wanting to go to paid escort services, massage parlors where they give you a happy ending. Now, once again, moderation is the key. If you overdo anything, whether it's eat too much salt, too much sugar, whether you, anything you do that goes beyond moderation is not good. It's like, let's say medicine is good, but if you overdo it, the medicine becomes bad. A little bit of sugar in tea tastes good. Too much sugar is bad. So, when you're talking about masturbation, my theory is, if you're doing it, example, if you are someone with a very high sexual libido, you're doing it once a day, fine. It's still too much. Once a day, fine. You're a young man, you have to do it, fine. But don't start by making it a 2, 3, 4 hour. One guy, he had sent me a message. He literally does it for minimum of 2 to 3 hours per day. And I asked him, what is longest? He said the whole day. I'm like, what are you talking? He's saying, I did it until I had to go to sleep. So then that becomes a serious problem. Then that is a very, very serious problem. So, and with regards to going to sex workers, remember there's always a risk of STDs. Okay? No matter how careful you are, you'll always have that. And then the question is, how much are you spending on that? because quality paid sex is not cheap. If you're going for cheap, then the chances of STD is very, very high. So then that bites into a sizable chunk of your earnings. And then if you once get addicted to going for paid sex, then you'll never have a proper family life. That is another thing. And then these happy ending massages and all that, like if you do it once a week, fine. But if you're going to do it every single day, then there is seriously a problem. Okay? Remember, everything should be in moderation. And please don't take my advice out of context, because I'm giving you what I believe. So maybe what I believe is not meant for everyone. But if you're overdoing anything, then definitely seek professional help where this masturbation and sex is concerned. If I were to summarize, masturbating once per day is fine. Few minutes, fine. But once it starts going 1 hour and I want to prolong it and I'm doing it multiple times, then there's something to worry about. Next one, women. Given that majority of my subscribers are men, I know I'll sound like a hypocrite when I say this, but be careful. See, I've been a playboy. I had many women. And when I look back, people ask me, do you regret? I tell them, look, I didn't force anyone. I never gave anyone fake promises of marriage or manipulated them, or I used my charm. I used being sexy, being nice, being sweet. But I never promised I'll marry you or we'll be together or I love you. Yeah, feeling naughty, obviously say like that. But I didn't have a father figure. I didn't have proper upbringing. I didn't have proper guidance. I had nobody. And this is pre-Google days, pre-Facebook, pre-everything. So for me, a sense of validation, I thought I was a James Bond. Because James Bond, you see in the movies, has women. It's like, oh, even I'm cool. So that's why to have a sense of self-worth, I enjoyed the thrill of the chase. And especially given the fact that I was born and raised in an Indian family alone. But what is the reason now I say that you need to be moderate when I was a playboy? One is definitely STDs. In UAE, because they test every year for your visa, so there was a very less chance that they would have STDs. And I would always go for the female who didn't have many boyfriends, or who was alone, or who was single, or was with only one man married, which I again don't recommend. So I knew for a fact chance of STD would be very low, and I took precaution. So one is STD. The second one is today's day and age of social media and fake claims and fake rape, and some women purposely get their partners to get pregnant. No, they make sure the partner gets them pregnant so they can demand compensation, alimony, and all that. It happens in the West. So many very gifted college athletes who are in basketball who have signed big checks and all that. These females, they don't want to work. So they go entice them, make them get them pregnant, after they're drunk, and then keep the child, and the guy has to pay for the child and the mother for the rest of their life. So be careful. And also fake police cases. And if a girl were to mention that you did something without her intent, your life, your career is destroyed. You can search on YouTube how many young men were put into jail because of fake claims. These girls cry, oh, I'm sorry. But after 10 years or 30 years, what's the point? So with women, be careful. And if nothing else, I would say that if you really want to sleep around and you're in a place like I had this one client, he stays in Miami. And the funny thing in Miami, almost every day, because he's rich, he gets a female hitting him every single day. Sometimes 2, 3, sometimes he has sex with 4 of them. So if that is the case, then it's different. Okay? But otherwise, please remember, everything has a price to pay. And don't think that this girl is innocent, because some of them will even demand that you must marry them, especially if they're Indian. Or if they put it on social media, you're finished. So, and remember, the one last thing is, everything should be done in moderation, because your time, effort, money, creativity, and yourself, you'll invest in the relationship. So keep that in mind. Everything has a price to pay. Next one is gaming. Among all the addictions, I would say this is the most harmless, was the most harmless until gambling or mobile phone gaming came into the picture. If it was buy once, like the olden days, 80s and 90s, you buy the game and it's at home and you play, you don't have to pay anything. I would still say that is relatively harmless. Only time it gets harmful is if you're playing a game 6, 10, 12 hours a day, not studying, not going to work, not going anything, then it becomes bad. But where online mobile gaming is concerned, and by the way, I'm someone who had spent a lot of money on it. You must have seen my previous $15,000 on just one game. I've seen a lot of the news and a lot of articles where kids have smashed this thing or they've beaten up their parents. In fact, there was this one young man who went on a hunger strike in India until his mother couldn't take it anymore. She sold her gold and this and that to buy him an iPhone. So it's become so sad. In some cases, you have kids who violently attack their parents, violently attack their teachers. One of the teachers lost her eyeball because she took the phone away from the child. So online gaming is 100% no, even if it's free. It's never free. But if you're talking of pay once and you can use it as long as you like, remember moderation is the key. I would rather have a kid being crazy about gaming than be crazy about doing something, smoking, drinking, drugs, and bad company. All right. But remember, moderation is the key because your time is of essence. You'll never get that back. Social media is the next one. What can I say? In today's day and age where everyone has a phone, easy access from game sites, chatting, porn, everything. Moderation is a key. Very easy to say, very difficult to do. And it's not just kids, it's adults with fake profiles, fake filters. I would just say, if you ask me, social media and the smartphone is the biggest danger facing our youngsters today. Biggest, without a doubt, biggest. Right now, as I'm making this video, my daughter is on her iPad. And it's a good thing I purchased an educational program. So she's enjoying it. It's slightly expensive. But I know so many young boys and girls her age. They are watching the internet for free because their parents can't afford it. But the reason why they give them is they keep quiet. But if they're doing it now at the age of 5 and 6, imagine what will happen when they grow up. So social media, extreme moderation, extreme. And use it, in my case, luckily, I do it for, commercial for my brand, so I'm lucky. But if you're a normal person, be careful. It brainwashes you. Friends, I will just say that the friends you keep determine the quality of your life. Like there is that saying, calculate who are your top 5 friends who you hang out with. See the average income of each one and then completely get the average of that. And that will be how much you learn, the maximum in your lifetime. Because remember, bikers who are bikers, they will have biking interest. Bodybuilders who are a group have bodybuilding interest. Smokers who are smokers, That is why in Dubai or in India, you get a group hanging out at a cafe shop or shisha or a joint. Remember, you're spending your time, effort, money, and if impact and brainwash you into their way of thinking. Because if let's say, you are a guy who supports Congress and all of them support BJP, they're going to hang out with you. So they impact you, be careful. If you were to ask me, one friend is enough. Beyond that, it's always high degree of maintenance. Be careful. And keep one final thing where friends is concerned. Don't expect him to be there for you on a rainy day because maybe he has his own priorities. So all that you spend on him will be out for nothing. Then nightclubs, I've been there. The strobing lights, I've been a DJ, I told you. The lights, the music, the entertainment, the food, the drinks, everyone's dressed up. Wow, amazing, beautiful, hot girls, rich guys, everyone's splurging money. It's fun. I'll admit it's fun. But if you ask me, 100% no. I will not even say moderation because it is a cesspool of everyone who has bad habits, who are addicted to this lifestyle. I know one female who is someone I deeply respect, two of them, sorry. They are 50 now. They broken marriages and they still, one is married, sorry. They still go to nightclubs once a week because free drinks and they go with their groups and all. I mean, what? You get drunk and have a hangover next day morning, you wasted the whole night. Yeah, you can let off your steam, but is that the only place you can let off your steam? Is there something else better? I don't know. You can say there's no harm going once a week, fine. But for me, that is a place where a lot of bad habits can stem. So if you're 50 and you have to go to a pub or a club, well, that's fine. If you want me to be flexible about it, fine, once a week, but don't end up spending more than what you should. Okay? So nightclub, I'll just change my stance. Instead of 100% no, I'll say once a week. Shopping, I'm guilty here. Guilty as charged. I spend a lot of money on shopping. I'm a shopaholic. The only thing I'll tell you is don't go beyond your means. Don't spend beyond your means. Spend below your means and in moderation. That's as far as I would say. Okay. Gambling, 1,000,000% no. Just like smoking and drinking. Gambling is a total no for me. Remember, end of the day, the house always wins. Don't get into gambling, lottery tickets, all that. The logic is at least have a chance. No, it's the house that always wins. And I personally know many people, even cryptocurrency is gambling. I've known friends, clients, relatives who have lost everything in gambling and cryptocurrencies. And last if not the least, bodybuilding. Which young man doesn't want to look muscled? Who doesn't want to impress with having strength? It's like being a man. Sadly, what has happened is steroids have become a part of bodybuilding. And almost, it surprises me that today even an 18-year-old will ask me about steroids. And the amount that they are asking is sometimes even more than what a professional would take. See, bodybuilding involves sleep, nutrition, supplements, lifestyle, training, so many things. But even if it is natural, I would just tell you this much. Remember, moderation is the key. Even if you do naturally and you do too heavy, it will damage your joints. And I'm shocked nowadays that 20-year-olds have wrist problems, elbow problems, especially lower back and knee problems. Do you know that once you get damaged there, you are finished for life? You can just go and check in Instagram and all these videos. Young men, they will leg press and their leg will break the other way. People who squat and they rip off their joints from their knees, cartilage. CrossFit is the most dangerous kind of sport. People say, oh, you can do it coached, controlled. No, you're pushing your 100% at every every session you do. So bodybuilding is good, but the problem is no one knows where to draw the line. I get these young men in my groups showing me their physique, six-pack abs, because I did use steroids. And they look good. Some of them really look good and buffed up. But I tell them, boss, you're taking it 20. Your testosterone is impacted for the rest of your life. And today, if I have health issues, it's because of bodybuilding. It's because of steroids. All the side effects. When you take it, believe it or not, it'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel great. It'll make you feel like $1 billion. But the day you can't do it due to joint pain or anything, it will all come back. And not only the negativity, it'll be the worst that you'll ever face. To the extent where you'll have to spend the rest of your life taking medication and hospitalization, and your health will be ruined. If you ask me the alternative to bodybuilding, I would say swimming, totally impact-free, cycling, impact-free, long distance, slow running. It has impact, but it's very good. It'll help you keep your weight, whatever, down, and triathlon. I love that sport very much. And if you want the most, number one, which is most peaceful, is yoga. I have not done calisthenics, so I don't know. But yoga is without a doubt the best. And yoga and Ayurvedic healthy lifestyle. Because remember, nutrition is the key. So these are all the vices that I wanted to share. And I sincerely, genuinely hope the young men who are watching this get some guidance, some benefit, or at least it creates a small fire in them to stay away from all this, or even if they do whatever is there, in moderation. Let me know what are your thoughts, and if I missed out on anything, feel free to comment down below, and feel free to disagree, because I always like to know your point of view. Having said that, hope you enjoyed this video. Questions and comments, mention them down below. This is me signing off. Take care. Oh, one thing I just forgot to mention is kindly check the timestamps, because you may want to check specific vices, and that would help you get the answers that you're looking for. Having said that, watch.